Live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, business brokerages, so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, where our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, but most importantly, we want to engage you in an effort to help you win in any marketplace. Now, we want you to pull out your smartphone, save our Consumer Advocate hotline number in your phone. At some point, you may need it. 813-670-7372. That's our Consumer Advocate hotline, 813-670-7372. And bookmark our website, consumerqb.com, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available there. You can find links to all of our expert contributors, over 80 show partners that we've assembled, we've vetted, we bring on the air to help you win no matter what you're facing in so many different areas of real estate and business and health. We want to be that number one consumer advocate for you. So reach out at our website, consumerqb.com. Just submit the form at consumerqb.com. There's a contact form on the right. If you click on the expert contributors tab, you'll see all of the folks that we have here in studio today. You'll see their contact information there, all of their website information as well. And we got an all-star lineup for you today. It's Intelligent Talk Radio, and I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Let's go around the horn, make our introductions. Jake Alexander back in the house. He's the owner of Alexander Financial, and he's a tax expert here in Tampa Bay. Welcome in, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Yeah, so friends don't let friends use TurboTax. It's going to be some of the topics today, huh?
Should be interesting.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll have some fun with it.
Yep.
Awesome. Also in studio as well, Scott Maurer. He's the Director of Business Development for Advanta IRA. Welcome in, sir.
Hey, welcome. Good to be back, Brandon. Hopefully talk to people today about why individuals choose to self-direct. Why are individuals looking for alternatives in their retirement account?
That's right. Alternative retirement options, self-directed IRA, putting those alternative investments together in ways that you can take advantage of the tax. We're going to talk heavy today about tax advantages with some of these different products. I love that idea as well. And James Lascano rounding out our expert contributor panel here, business broker, Transworld Business Advisors. James Lascano back in the house. Welcome in.
Thank you very much, Brandon. As always, love being here. Love being part of the group, and very excited to go ahead and try to provide any type of useful information to all of our listeners.
Awesome. I love it, man. So we're helping you win no matter what you're facing out there. We want to hear from you. We want to have you engage with us. So please reach out and let us understand more about what you're going through and how we can help you. And this segment is brought to you by Hula Bay, one of our restaurant partners. Waterfront ambiance, excellent food, wonderful sushi as well, and a great waterfront environment down there on South Tyson Avenue in South Tampa. And go check them out. Say hello to Mike and actually Todd over there now, the manager. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. You're going to get a free water with lemon. He's still got that special running. I know it's a long time special, but you can still get hooked up with that water with lemon there. And so let's jump right into this great content and talk to you today. A little bit coming up in the show as well. We got the top 10 80s rock bands according to listaka.com. And we're going to have our expert contributors guess, see where they can guess those top 10 80s rock bands. And it's all about helping you win, helping you understand more about the market, things happening, giving you the timely truths. So let's start here with Jake Alexander, tax advisor. He's an enrolled agent with the IRS, which is, you know, he can practice in 50 states, and so I've learned a lot from our initial couple of meetings here, Jake. And so, what are you seeing in your world, man?
A lot going on, and it's funny, we say friends don't let friends use TurboTax. It's kind of become one of our unofficial slogans around the office, and it's crazy. There's so many do-it-yourself options for consumers to do their own taxes now, and we tell people if you're capable of doing it, if you think you know what's going on, if you've got a relatively simple situation, then that's great. But if you have anything above, 1, 2 W-2s, especially people who have like a side business or they have a rental property, or if they're trying to itemize their deductions as far as, mortgage, insurance, taxes, all that kind of stuff, you want to get with a professional. Somebody's going to be able to help you do these things.
Right.
What I tell people is do it yourself is great in all industries, My biggest thing with a lot of these websites that allow people to file their own taxes is there's no mechanisms in place to prevent them from submitting errors on their tax returns. So it's pretty crazy. We do a lot of representation, especially in the off season, which is where we represent clients to the IRS. And a lot of these issues come from people who have submitted their own tax return, or even worse scenario, they went to a friend who they were told could get them a higher refund from doing it on TurboTax. And we tend to get a lot of those too. And so we tell people, consult with a professional. We do free consultations. We love helping people out, and we're just here to help out. So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you look at today's modern trends, it's like consumers trying to sell their own real estate, consumers going on a website trying to control their own investment, Scott, in that space. And so that's fine and dandy if you are educated to a point where you understand. But unfortunately, a lot of times you don't know what you don't know.
Absolutely.
And that's where it can be a hazard. People leave a lot of money on the table.
Mm-hmm. And it's weird because it's somewhat of a love-hate relationship. We hate these websites because they do allow people to make mistakes, but then we love them because we get a lot of clients out of it too. So it's figuring out how the technology is going to work for people. And I'm a total advocate of the consumer being able to do things on their own. You just want to make sure you're doing them in the right capacity.
Right.
So,
Hey, I want to mention something actually. I had a client of mine who actually used TurboTax, and I'm saying it because it actually happened.
Yeah.
And when I looked at his financials and he gave me his tax returns, there was a big return, and I said, "Wait a minute, I'm seeing something that doesn't make sense," because I'm looking at the financials. Finally, I said, hey, "Do you notice that there's no rent here, and you pay rent?"
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, I didn't ask for that," and that was a $60,000 difference.
wow.
And I'm looking at this, I'm like, wow. I mean, just to be your point, I was like, I never would consider using it, but just to basically say, look, there's a reason why someone gets an education to do these things. There's a process.
He should have paid you a commission for finding that. Right? Should have hooked him up.
Absolutely.
That was amazing.
Pretty eye-opening, right? And just seeing that one time is enough to be like, wow, this is definitely something that needs some attention. So
that's right. Yeah, Scott, and in your space as well, you're seeing you see all these different online trading academies, these different opportunities for and that's great for the savvy investor, but it leaves room for error.
Yeah, I think one of the things kind of the common thread, especially with TurboTax and these online platforms, is I think there is sometimes a reliance too much on technology and a reliance on too much, oh, I can do this myself. I just have resources, I can Google, I can do this. And a lot of times you do need that professional, whether it's your retirement planning and your retirement services, whether especially it's a tax professional.
Yep.
That is huge. I mean, I can tell you in our business, dealing with retirement accounts, you're dealing with SEP IRAs, simple IRAs, people want to make contributions. Those are big tax decisions.
Yeah.
Converting to a Roth IRA. That's why you have to have somebody to go talk to. It's not a matter of using a calculator on the internet that you find. You really should talk to a professional, someone like Jake, to walk you through that, let you know what that number actually looks like.
That's right. Making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. Jake Alexander in the house, Scott Maurer, as well as James Lascano, rounding out our expert contributor panel. And we're talking about the trends of a lot of the consumers. They're looking to try to do things on their own, save a little bit of commissions. I see it in the real estate space all the time. And it even starts out in the beginning of the real estate space is, valuation of the property. A lot of times they're for sale by owners. And fortunately for them, most of them err on the side of like way above what market value is, and they kind of have this make me move mentality. But others can sometimes underprice their home. So again, they're leaving money on the table in real estate. They're leaving money on the table on their tax returns. There's a lot of things that we see affecting these consumers out there. So Jake, now I want to dive a little bit deeper into the capacity of these self-directed IRAs, since Scott Maurer is here with Advanta IRA.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of benefits there as well when you look at that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm interested to hear what Scott has to say on there. When I heard he was going to be on the show today, I was quite excited. So we were bantering a little bit in the hallway.
Yeah, so Scott, let's talk to him about that.
Sure. I mean, it's, for those who are heard me for the first time now, or just maybe not exactly sure what we do, we help people who have money in a retirement account, whether it's an IRA, it's a Roth IRA, a SEP, maybe an old 401k, an old 403b through an employer, the ability to, instead of using that money in a stock, in buying stocks and buying mutual funds and things you're kind of conditioned to, that's what I should be investing. The IRS allows you to invest in a wide variety of alternative assets, whether it's real estate, rental properties, tax liens, mortgage loans, private placements. There's so many different things you can invest in, but your current custodian's not going to tell you that.
Right.
And so so when you get down to it, there's a couple of different reasons why people self-direct. But for a lot of people, it's just they want an alternative. They want to see something different. They found another investment opportunity.
Right. Yeah. And then you get into the whole fiduciary capacity. Are they a fiduciary, your investment advisor? Should you get a review? Yes. Obviously, get a review. That's one of the things we talk about on the show. Should you be proactive? Absolutely. That's something we want to make sure we hammer in here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. The goal is to help you understand some of these underlying decisions. So being proactive, getting a review, having your tax professional working with your retirement professionals, working with your business brokers, your real estate brokers, your mortgage professionals. That's what we want to talk about here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and helping you understand a lot of those buying decisions. And we want to remind you, this show is that consumer advocate based program where we're going to help you no matter what you're facing. So if you want to reach out to our consumer advocate hotline, anything that you heard so far on the show today, if you'd like to just raise your hand, if you're one of those types of people that takes action when you hear something and you want to see results and you want to achieve success and prosperity, go ahead and reach out to our hotline at 813-670-7372. We'll put you in touch directly with any of our expert contributors, no matter what you're facing. Maybe you need credit improvement. Maybe there's some room for improvement on your credit score. We've got William Crawley, the credit magician, on our team. We want you to think about this show as the hub of your financial, your business, your health wheel, and each spoke extending out, representing another one of our preferred partners over our expert contributors. Over 80 show partners now that we've assembled, we vetted, and we bring on the show to help you win. So 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline. We want you to save that number in your phone. And bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. Submit the form at consumerqb.com. Any questions, comments that you may have on the show, we would love to hear from you. We had some great feedback last week and the week prior. Lots of folks looking to get into the real estate space, and we talked to some renters last week. I love talking to renters because they're throwing money away, paying the landlord's mortgage when they could be doing so much better for themselves and their family, leaving a better legacy. So stay with us. When we come back, we're going to jump into our top 10. We got the top 10 80s rock bands according to listaka.com, and more from our expert contributors. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent in Tampa Bay. Featured in Florida Realtor Magazine for the third time this July. Recent article talked about, I was on the cover story, talked about prospecting in real estate. So really honored to be featured in Florida Realtor Magazine for the third time this current month's issue. Check it out, realtor.com. You can see it there. We got a couple of hot listings from my company here, Platinum MVP Realty, 5208 East Longboat Boulevard in Tampa. This is a beautiful property. It's bay access. It's in the Causeway area, so that upper Tampa Bay, you could take your boat to dinner, and it's a awesome property. 5 bedrooms, 3 and 1/2 bath, $850,000. Actually, we just reduced down to $846, I believe. Over 4,100 square feet, heated, and you got a waterfront view there. Beautiful property. 5208 East Longboat Boulevard. Make sure you check out our official partner on the show, the photography that they did from Bray Frameworks. They've got a beautiful video online as well on Vimeo. And then also another hot property in Northeast St. Petersburg. This is a hot area. People love that old Northeast area. 215 12th Avenue, Northeast St. Petersburg. 4 bedrooms, 5 bath. This is $1.29 million. It's a great buying opportunity. Over 3,688 square feet under construction. So it's going to be done around September 1st for the delivery date. So that's 215 12th Avenue Northeast in St. Petersburg. So if you're looking to buy, sell, invest, we would love to talk to you here. This is Brandon Rhymes, the real estate quarterback, 813-670-7372. That's our hotline, 813-670-REQB. And, of course, our website is consumerqb.com. Submit the form there at consumerqb.com. Giving a big shout out to Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. It's our official hotel partner. Now, make sure you give them a call, book your stay, and you're going to get a 15 to 20% discount just by mentioning the Consumer Quarterback Show. Use the REQB code and stay at a beautiful Mediterranean palace with expansive luxury suites overlooking the intercoastal waterways and the Gulf of Mexico. Rooftop yoga on the weekends. They've got the Castile restaurant as well on site. It's beautiful. You've got to check it out. Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show in beautiful Tampa Bay. All right. We're back in studio helping you win in any marketplace. Jake Alexander, he's the owner of Alexander Financial. He's a tax expert enrolled agent with the IRS, as well as Scott Maurer. He's the director of business development for Advanta IRA, and he's going to be talking about the top 3 reasons why people self-direct. And also James Lascano, Transworld Business Advisors in the house. He's a business broker. He's going to help you learn more about buying and selling a business. He can do a valuation for your business as well. So if you're a business owner out there and you want to know what the property, what your business is valued at, you just give us a call or a text, and we'll make sure we put you in touch with James Lascano, Transworld Business Advisors. Find out what your business is worth and find out the procedures to maximize that sell when you do get ready to sell at some point. All right, so let's talk with Scott Maurer here, Director of Business Development, Advanta IRA. The top 3 reasons why people want to self-direct.
Yeah, I think when we survey our clients, we talk to people obviously looking to self-direct, we typically see them fall into one of 3 categories, and sometimes a couple different categories. But primarily, I think the number one reasons why people look to self-direct is that they are either scared or they're tired of the stock market. They've had their money invested in mutual funds. They've had it invested in the stocks. Right now the stock market's hitting highs and it's up, but we don't know how long that's going to last. Or how comfortable you are in your positions. Do I get in now? Is the time to get out? By being able to self-direct and find other assets,
right.
Buying into real estate, buying a rental property can make a lot more sense, and people can feel a lot more secure then. They can sleep at night knowing that my money, my IRA, my nest egg is invested in this property over here that I can see, that I can touch. I can put my tenants in there. I bought it at a good value. I know that this is a winning investment in the long run.
That's right. You know, the financial space, the investment space is one of the most understood areas, convoluted areas, however you want to say that. And Tony Robbins wrote that book. You know, he's one of my favorites. I went to his business mastery course a couple of times now. I had an opportunity to staff his events or volunteer. I work as a crew member. And Scott, we've talked about this on the show, but I just feel a strong moral obligation to give back a lot of my real estate knowledge, mortgage knowledge, and I think in your position as well. You know, let's talk about this industry as a whole. You know, we talk about it before. A lot of times people take their hard-earned money, they're putting money into a 401k, and they call that a retirement plan, but that's really just a good start.
Right, exactly. It definitely want to make your contributions. If you have a 401k offering at work, put your money in, have your company match. But when you have control then over what that money is going to be invested into, what you do with it
right.
is ultimately going to be up to you. I mean, you could let it sit in the market. And I went to a symposium one time. They were talking about the stock market, and people like to say historically the stock market returns 7 to 8% on average year to year. Since the stock market's been in existence, the number of times the stock market has actually done between 7 and 10% is very small. I mean, it's hardly any years. It's either been way up or way down. If you average them, they come out to 7 or 10%, but you can't just put your money in there and just count on that 7 or 10%. You don't know when you're getting in, when you're getting out. Being able to self-direct and be able to find investments that you understand that you can control. Again, that's one of the reasons, one of the top reasons people are scared of the stock market, because they don't know that they can count on that 7 to 10% each year. They've learned their lesson in years past when they 401ks became 201ks.
Yeah,
they saw big losses. They wanted to have more control.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think I've got in several times on the 2% slide of it. So I know what you mean.
Yeah, and it happens, and that's the challenge that we see. And then the other big part of this thing is the fiduciary capacity. Most advisors are going to tiptoe and dance around that question, and they're going to have some kind of a savvy response, and they've probably been trained to have that. But let's talk about the fiduciary capacity when it comes to business and more importantly, investments. That's something that, unfortunately, if they're not a fiduciary, they don't have a legal obligation to put, and when I say they, I'm talking about the financial advisor, the person who this so-called wealth advisor, they don't have a legal obligation to put your interest as the consumer in front of theirs.
Yeah, no, and it's sad. I mean, the number of times I've seen it, I'm sure that James and Jake have seen it in their businesses as well, that somebody went to an advisor, thought that, hey, this is a good guy, I got referred by somebody else, trusted them, and they come to us because they found another investment opportunity. Let's move some of my money from that account, over to Advanta. Let's buy some real estate with it, for instance. But they go back and look at trying to move the money out of the investment they're put in. It's locked in, or there's severe penalties now. It's an annuity where there's a lot of surrender charges. And they're saying, what do you mean I have? They don't understand exactly what they're in. I think that just goes back to the point where people are getting invested in assets and investments that benefit the advisor selling the investment, not necessarily benefiting the consumer. And again, we're not advisors at Advanta. I'll make that clear. We just exist to hold these types of assets where you are in control. Right. You're making the decisions, and you are fully aware of the investment that you're making. That's not the advisor saying, "Here's a great product for you."
So Jake, as well, when you see these types of programs from your clients, you're able to position them in a position to defer taxes or avoid taxes in a lot of cases, correct?
Absolutely, and I'm glad to meet Scott. I think there's several things that we could work on together going forward, and I have a network of financial planners, advisors that we work with, and it's interesting what you say too about. A lot of people don't understand that, financial planners, they are typically commission based.
That's right.
So they're going to, not all of them, every situation is different, but a lot of times you're going to be steered in certain directions based on exactly what may or may not be more beneficial to them at the time. So the ability to self-direct, I think, is genius. Kind of going back to what we were talking about in this day and age, being able to, control your future and actually do things on your own is great, as long as you're in a capacity to be able to do so and you have the right advisors to help you with that.
That's right. And just a word on mutual funds. I learned this from Tony Robbins, Money Master of the Game. His other book, Unshakable, is top notch. I recommend, pulling that up on Audible and downloading it. But he talks about 95% of the mutual funds out there, they do not outperform the market or the index. So meaning if you invested directly in the index on a market, on a some type of a retirement plan, you're going to outperform 95% of these so-called mutual funds. And as consumers, we've been programmed, diversify, have some of this, have some of that, diversify across these different things. And so that's what most people do. They go and buy these. And the other big point is you overpay for underperformance. So you're paying as some kind of a manager to manage this mutual fund for you. And ultimately, in the end, you're still in a worse position because the fees are going to compound. And that's the other question is, what exactly are my costs in this retirement plan? What am I paying, Mr. Broker, Mrs. Broker? And then to get a straightforward answer, you got this answer, you really got to have it reviewed. So we want to make sure you get a review here. Pull out your smartphone, text us right now if you want to get your taxes reviewed or your investment portfolio reviewed by professionals that we have. 813-670-7372. Give us a call or a text. Get that review. Take action today. 813-670-7372. ConsumerQB.com is our website. Make sure you submit that form. There's a contact form there, and we're going to get back to you before our head hits the pillow. Top 10 80s rock bands coming up later in the show, and more from our expert contributors. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Quarterback Show. Former USF football player, played on the inaugural football team at the University of South Florida. Go Bulls. And longtime quarterback on my sports teams. Now we're quarterbacking transactions for our listeners, our sellers out there. Quarterbacking introductions to all of our expert contributors, the folks that can help you win in any marketplace, no matter what you're facing out there. All-star lineup for you today. Here in studio with me today is Jake Alexander, owner of Alexander Financial. Scott Maurer, he's the Director of Business Development for Advanta IRA, as well as James Lascano, business broker, Transworld Business Advisors. And we're going to give a quick shout out to Signature Massage and Facial Spa in Town and Country. They're in the Hillsborough Avenue, 12448 West Hillsborough Avenue, and they have no contracts or memberships required. Signature Massage and Facial Spa. You can have a wide variety of different services, all types of facials and skincare, and different types of massage as well. Swedish deep tissue, sports, signature, couples massage, hot stone massage, and a lot of cool things offered at Signature Massage and Facial Spa on West Hillsborough Avenue, 11248 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa. Signature Massage and Facial Spa. Now, make sure you mention the quarterback code. The RELAX coupon is the RELAX code, and you're going to get 10% off of your services with just by mentioning that over at Signature Massage and Facial Spa. All of our expert contributors can be found at consumerqb.com. That's our website, blog site, a plethora of information available for you there, as well as giving a shout out to Healthy Gourmet, Felicia Lacaille with Healthy Gourmet. This is a meal plan delivery service, so it's meal delivered fresh 3 times a week. Felicia Lacaille, meal plan starting at $90 per week. Optimal fuel, optimal performance, organic veggies, natural proteins delivered fresh 3 times a week. I love it. Monday, Wednesday, Friday roll around, and I never know what I'm going to get. I keep my taste buds just wondering what's going to happen today, what's coming out. Monday, Wednesday,
Awesome.
Friday. Great service there. I love it. What else do you have in this food if you don't have, or in this world if you don't have your health? So Felicia Lacaille can help you get that natural proteins, those organic veggies as well. So, all right, we're back here in studio helping you win in any marketplace. Let's go ahead and talk to James Lascano, Transworld Business Advisors. Now, he's a business broker, and he's helping people. There's a lot of opportunity right now, James, for people to buy businesses and to be able to kind of restart, or especially for those seniors as well that may be aging. They're looking to maybe sell their businesses and get out of that business that they may have been operating for 15, 20, 30 years.
Exactly. Actually, one of them that I wanted to mention right now is specifically a car stereo customization superstore in the Tampa Bay area, which is, they've been around for 35 years. The gentleman is just tired. He's like, look, I'm burnt out. I've been doing this for 35 years, built a very successful business, and he's selling it. He just lowered the price. He just lowered the price to $625,000, and I mean, alone just in equipment and all that, he has an incredible. He has an incredible business. So
Nice.
And he's willing to stay there and coach and teach and show them how he became so successful. Actually, it's funny. He has a vehicle that he customized for clientele, and so he can go ahead and showboat it. And he takes it to Bucks games and things of that nature. And this vehicle has actually, when I saw it, it had a glass pole. And he told me, look,
Trouble.
yeah, I know. He told me I had to put it in there. He goes, how many people just wanted to see that pole? It's removable.
Yeah.
And I went to as far as saying, hey, so, just tell me, can this hold a human body? He goes, oh yeah, it's been tested. And
It's very nice. It's very nice.
Yeah, man.
It's a great story that he has with it. It's a gorgeous vehicle that he customized for himself and his family to ride around. So it's a great business. And the gentleman, again, he just wants to retire.
What's the price tag on it?
Price tag $625,000.
$625,000.
Yeah, and it nets about close to $300,000.
Now, will these owners finance these a lot of times if they come in with a chunk down?
I tell everybody to go ahead and make an offer and say, look, the buyer is making an offer. You can do anything you want.
Right.
So I will tell somebody, look, no matter how it is, just go ahead and, if you want it, put an offer out there. If you don't get it, well, at least you can walk away with a clear head. I mean, no one's going to force you to buy something.
That's right.
Exactly. So
and then also on that point too is and sometimes what happens is, and I've seen this in real estate, is I've had sellers accept offers $100,000 less than it was listed at. I mean, this was a high $100,000 or $1 million property, but I'm like, wow, what you should have told me you would have accepted that, and I could have reduced slowly over time and kind of found that sweet spot with the market. But you never know what they're going to accept.
Exactly. I had somebody last year do a $300,000 reduction on a business, and the buyer, the seller took the offer, and they were sold.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you don't know what the seller's intentions are, where their position are at. So I would just tell you, look, make the offer. You'll never know what may come of it. I always tell somebody, look, don't ever hesitate to make an offer.
That's right.
I mean, as a buyer, you can always walk away. And we have the responsibility as a business broker, and this is something that's obviously all of Transworld, we're very cautious on this, but I believe all business brokers do this as well, is we tell the person, look, you make a deposit, our role is to make sure you get that deposit back, and we'll explain to you up to the point of when that day that you have to decide whether you move forward or not.
Yeah,
we'll
money turns hard on the 15th of the month. The money's soft on the 14th. That's the hard line
exactly.
day.
And we make it very clear. We're like, look, our responsibility is clear. What I normally do is when I have a client, I'll tell them 2 days before, hey, are you come to a decision? Due diligence is coming up in 2 days.
Yeah.
Have you come to a decision? Sometimes they'll say yes. Sometimes they'll say no. Sometimes they'll look, I need more time. Then we'll ask for an extension.
Right.
But, they have the complete control to back out at any time and say, you know what, this wasn't for me. I've had it happen to me before, and we just find them another business.
That's right.
And we still sell the current business. So that is definitely one thing that I implore, and I tell every person, look, make the offer if you want the business. If you make, believe me, that's what we do. That's my time. And I'm the one that's going to do that, the work, so don't worry about it. Another business that I have actually this is just an asset sale, and I have a great restaurant in Clearwater that they're just literally just selling the assets. He's selling it for $50,000. He'll take $30,000 down and owner finance the rest of the 20.
Nice.
You're not going to get anywhere a business to be able to move into a business and get that's ready already, clean, set up with all the licenses, everything. For less than that $30,000. I mean, just to go into any
what type of business?
It's a restaurant.
Oh, restaurant.
So
Okay.
with everything. I mean, it's got a full size kitchen, a brand new hood. The gentleman bought it for his girlfriend, broke up, and now he's stuck with the restaurant.
Uh-oh.
I hate when that happens.
Man.
Come on, man.
I was like, James, just you know what? I'm not a restaurant person. I bought it for her. I'm not gonna keep it open. It's an asset sale. We're just selling the assets. But it's got a great lease to it. It's only like, I think, $1,500 a month. It's a wonderful.
Alrighty then.
You got to move on, right? So that might have a guy for you. You got to think about that one.
Let me know.
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
So if you just tuned in, I'm Brandon Rhymes. I'm your host. That's James Lascano, Transworld Business Advisors that you're talking with. If you are thinking about selling your business or maybe buying a business, or if you just want your business valuated, let's talk about that, James. The valuation process. By the way, 813-670-7372. That's our hotline. Give us a call. Shoot a text message, 813-670-7372. So if you're a business owner out there, James, it's confusing. You hear these different types of models. Here's how you value this type of business, but this one's a different type of valuation. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. I have somebody that sent me an email the other day, and she was like, they're telling me, look, this is interesting. And someone from up north said, hey, this business can go 7 times the value of something. And I just looked at the number. I said, yeah, there's so much ambiguity here that I had to just sit down for a minute. And we were actually in Disney World with my wife. And I'm like, she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I need to, when someone sends me something like this, I need to reply because I don't want them to be so confused by something like this. So when we look at something in that nature, in this particular business, they were talking about, they were saying, look, we need a valuation of 7 times. I'm like, that's probably including property. So I'll give an example. Let's say that you have a business with a property of $500,000. Your business is about, your business is worth maybe $200,000. So it's $750,000. Okay. So if you go ahead and evaluate it that way, you could say, okay, we'll do 7 times because the property is included. You may be losing or you may be at the same level with the property. Mm-hmm. But let's say that you live in New York City or you live in Florida where property is so much more, it's worth so much more. And this happens a lot with funeral homes. And I have that because I've sold funeral homes before. And in a funeral home, you do that evaluation where you evaluate something like 5-6 times. It's because the property is included. It doesn't work in New York. It doesn't work in Florida because the property outpaces the value of the business.
Right.
So let's say you have a business that makes $200,000, okay, and you follow a 6 times valuation at $1.2 million, okay, but you have a property that's worth $1 million alone, or maybe it's worth $2 million. Mm-hmm. Okay, so are you going to sell? You're going to follow that model to sell your property, and you're going to lose on the property to sell your business with it? Most people say, look, I'd rather just sell my property and the business, I'll just close it. Or what we did in New York is we separated the business. So we go ahead and took the property and told them, look, you need to move the business and rent the business, sell it for something a lot smaller, but sell the property for what its value is. The property's worth more.
Yeah,
That's
each market's going to be a little bit different too.
Exactly.
The geographical areas, real estate is local, so it's so local, it's hyper local. And you look at New York market versus the Florida market versus the California market, and then I can only imagine what you're explaining there. Some of the situations that you have to deal with when you're trying to educate these sellers and these buyers about that.
And you know what? I wanted to go back to the point of what someone's, talking about TurboTax and all this. There's great knowledge out there and technology that provides it for you. Okay. Also, I would take everything with a grain of salt. But there's great knowledge, and it's made there accessible so you can educate yourself. But you're not a PhD person. You're not gonna argue with someone that went through the process of educating themselves appropriately to provide a service. You're not a CPA. I had a family member of mine one time argue with another family member of mine who's a doctor, and she said, "Well, I saw this on WebMD." I'm like,
right?
Really? Are you serious?
Oh, man,
come on.
same thing.
I
Googled it. Come on.
Yeah, I Googled it, and OMD says this. I'm like, listen, and it was like everybody was just sitting there like, are you crazy? This is a doctor. They're 8 years plus residency. I mean, and you think that, WebMD is going to tell you how to, isolate a problem and cure cancer.
Man, but more from this when we come back. Also, an interesting story in our feel-good story. A garage sale turns into an opportunity to prove good people still exist. Hear about it in our Tell Me Something Good segment. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Platinum MVP Realty has a couple of hot listings I want to let you know about. Property in Clearwater here at 1646 Sherwood Street in Clearwater. Just hit the market. 3-bedroom, 2-bath property, and it is a nice corner lot, block construction, $239,000. Great buying opportunity at 1646 Sherwood Street in Clearwater. Also, 7814 Sims Road in Gibsonton. This is a great buying opportunity as well. You've got a commercial asset next door to this property, and this is a completely remodeled property, $433,000 just reduced at 7814 Sims Road in Gibsonton. And a couple of hot listings from Platinum MVP Realty. Check out platinummvprealty.net and see more about that. And expert contributors in the house, and now we are going to tell you something good. We got our feel-good story. So we try to go against the grain of the often negative mainstream media out there. We're going to tell you something good here today.
Tell me something good.
All right, mom sells stillborn son's crib at a garage sale. 1 week later, the buyer returns with a surprise. So Braylon's going to help us out here. Go, babe.
Valerie Watts experienced what no parent-to-be should ever have to experience. She was 9 months pregnant and had just a few days remaining before she was due to give birth when she received the tragic news that she was carrying a stillborn baby. What's even more heartbreaking is the idea of being left with the nursery filled with a crib, toys, and baby clothes, but no baby. After the traumatic experience of giving birth to a stillborn, Valerie couldn't bring herself to sell any of Noah's things or touch the nursery she had made for him. She was so devastated that she left it untouched for a year. She had gathered enough strength to set up a garage sale and sell Noah's belongings and baby furniture. To her surprise, an older man by the name of Gerald took a liking to the piece of furniture. Gerald restores old furniture on his spare time and thought he could make use of this crib. He was persistent about buying it, but could sense a feeling of uncertainty from Valerie's side. Little did he know that his wife, who was also at the garage sale, had earlier been chatting with Valerie and asked her how old her child was. Valerie explained that her baby passed away in July, and it just broke the lady's heart. On their way home, his wife told him Valerie's story. They decided that they had to take the piece of furniture back. But Gerald also understood that it could just be equally painful to have it in the shape of a crib. So he decided to transform it into a beautiful bench as a memorial for Noah. A week later, Gerald returned to Valerie's house with a gift. The unused crib was now a beautiful bench which would sit in her home as a memory of Noah. Valerie was left in tears by the beautiful gesture of this gracious stranger. It's amazing, and there's good people out there. There's proof, Valerie said.
All right, good stuff. Good feel-good story right there.
It's a tearjerker there.
Yeah, right? All right, so let's jump into we got our top 10. So in the studio with me today, we've got James Lascano, Transworld Business Advisors. We've got Scott Maurer, Advanta IRA, and also Jake Alexander Financial. And we sometimes do these top 10s. We'll shorten it up to a top 5 due to time constraints. All right, let's do the top 5 80s rock bands according to AKA.com. Go ahead, Jake.
Got to say Motley Crue.
Motley Crue. Let's see. Motley Crue.
I was born in the 80s, by the way, too, just so.
Yeah, right. Motley Crue is not on this list, buddy.
Wow. I'm out.
You out.
So they were here recently, I would think. U2?
Let's see. U2 is number 7 on the list. Absolutely. James?
Kiss
is not on the list.
Kiss is
what?
So number 1 is Queen.
Queen.
Wow.
Okay.
Kiss is 70s, he's saying.
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses, number 2.
Okay.
Number 3, Bon Jovi.
Okay.
Number 4, AC/DC. That was one of mine. Yeah. I liked them back in the
They're
day.
good.
Van Halen, number 5.
That's it.
Van Halen, number 5. Number 6, Def Leppard. Number 7 was YouTube. Number 8, Iron Maiden.
Ooh.
Number 9, Journey. And number 10, Metallica.
Metallica, okay. I would
have thought they would be higher on the list.
Yeah.
That seemed a little low on the list for me.
Yeah.
Let's jump into our lightning round. We're going to let you know some of the top tips, things to do, things to avoid.
The lightning round.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, top tips, things to do, things to avoid. Jake Alexander, you're up first, sir.
Be honest and be transparent. I tell people this is forever important just in overall business and in life, but it's eternally even more important when you're dealing with the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, in my profession, there are a lot of gray areas and things that we get into, and I'll have clients who say, well, this is what's going on. What if we position it this way? And I'll say that's not a good idea. Our best approach is always to be honest and be transparent. And
right.
We talked about it last time I was on the show. The IRS, they're, for the most part, it depends on who you get on the phone or who you meet with, but they're reasonable people. They're willing to work with you,
right.
Depending on what the situation is. They're not there to put you in jail or come take away your family. If you're honest and you're transparent about what's going on, 9 times out of 10, they'll work with you and help you alleviate any situation. So
that's right. Yep. All right, Scott, top tips.
Well, we talked about the top 3 reasons people self-direct. One, you're scared of the stock market or you're tired of the stock market. Another we talked about was the different options that people have to get better returns inside their IRA by reaching out to alternative assets. And I think the last reason, tied into some of the things we talked about today as well, is don't miss an investment opportunity for a lack of cash. If you see we talked about how great real estate is as an investment. You see something, whether it's a piece of real estate, an investment opportunity in a business, just because you don't have that cash in your savings account, your IRA can be used to make that investment. Keep that in mind. That's, again, a familiar thing we hear from a lot of clients. I wish I had done this sooner. I wish I had known I could do this, but I had a lot of other opportunities that I've passed up.
I like that. That's good. James Lascano.
Yes, for sellers, I would say immediately get your financials in order. Get realistic expectations on the market and what's going on, and also put yourself on a timeline. Remember, businesses take 10 to 12 months to sell. They don't act. They're not like homes. Okay, they take a lot longer. There's a lot more of research that has to be done. People are looking at multiple businesses at once because it's their livelihood. Okay, if you're a buyer, ask tons of questions. Ask as many questions as you can. Also, don't be in a hurry in the sense of, try to accelerate the process. I will give you a perfect example. We had a gentleman who went ahead and he was always trying to jump ahead, and I was actually trying to slow him down. And there's a reason for that. Okay, there's a process in place to really protect the buyer, and we're trying to do that. We're like, look, this guy was already literally moving in. He wanted to pay the employees already before they even knew they were going to be his employees.
Wow.
And I was telling him, you haven't purchased the business yet. You can't do that. You're exposing yourself, and it's actually really bad. You could lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, take the advice of the business broker and say, look, slow down. Let's work through this. Let's get a complete understanding of what's going to happen in the next few months.
Yeah, no, I agree. I understand that. And being proactive, making sure that all of your different advisors are working together is one of the other common themes that we see on this show. And just being proactive, reaching out. You don't know what you don't know. That's one of the key takeaways from the show consistently. Let's do one more round. Quick 30-second hits here. Top tips, things to do, things to avoid. Jake Alexander.
Ooh, I just want to talk real quick about the value of great customer service. That's one of the reasons we've been able to be so successful so quickly is we really take care of our clients. We never get into a battle of who's right or who's wrong. It's we're here to do the right thing and we're here to help you out. And we really just want to be an extension of your team and help you navigate the waters of dealing with the IRS. So
that's awesome. Love that.
Yeah, and I'll echo Jake as well. I mean, know who you're dealing with and trust who you're dealing with and like who you're dealing with. You don't have to be... all the businesses that Jake and James and I are in, there are competitors out there who do what we do too, but find somebody who you like, who you trust, and who gives you great value. And I think we all do that. And that's really important. Don't settle for what second best, basically.
Yeah, personality mesh, that's going to be important. That's going to be very, making sure that the person that you're working with is going to be someone that you can trust and have that relationship going forward. James Lascano.
There's a reason why Transworld right now is the largest business brokerage firm in the state of Florida. We use the best technology. We move forward, and that's why we urge you to come and contact us and better understand what it is that's going on in the marketplace. Buying a business, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of cogs, and you don't want to just go ahead and mistake that could cost you your livelihood. A lot of people sometimes pull out of their 401k to buy a business. We want to make sure that we get them in the right business. And we advise them also saying, look, can you see yourself 5 years continuing to do this? Are you going to sell it eventually? We want to make sure that we create that path.
That's
so
right.
I would tell them, be very thorough on when you choose a business broker.
I love it. I love it, as well as we want to invite business owners, any prospective business owners that might be interested in joining our show. Just reach out to our hotline. We'd love to talk to you. We have select categories available. We also have a gratitude party coming up next week as well. So let us know if you'd like to maybe join us for that. And thank you for tuning into the show. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Something as simple as packing up leftover food, maybe some groceries, clothing that you may have, handing it to that person that you see on the side of the road that is in need. Be a force for good in the community. Go out there and donate more. Be involved with your local charitable organizations and be a force for good in the community, and continue to tune into the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.